Damn, OnePlus back at it again with the OnePlus 6T. Yes, OnePlus is back with an all-new phone. It's their mid-cycle refresh. The OnePlus 6 now is the OnePlus 6T. There's a lot of new things. There is no fingerprint reader. Yes, you have an under-screen fingerprint reader on this. There's also a new style of a notch. It's called the teardrop notch. It's much smaller than before. There are a few more upgrades. There's a bigger battery. There's some software optimizations. And we're going to find out more in our first impressions. Okay, let's start with the design. The OnePlus 6T retains the same design that debuted on the OnePlus 6. It's definitely a looker and builds on the glass sandwich design that is quite functional as well. There's one big change though. The notch on the OnePlus 6T is now a small teardrop that dips into the Gorilla Glass 6. If you, like me, hate the notch, it's still not ideal, but hey, you get more screen space, you can't complain about that. The OnePlus 6T also gets a bigger battery. In fact, it got quite a big bump up from 3300 mAh to 3700 mAh. There are some minor changes in physical dimensions as well, with the 6T getting thicker thanks to the larger battery, and surprisingly, OnePlus has managed to stick in a larger screen too. Up from the 6.28-inch screen on the OnePlus 6, you have a 6.4-inch optic AMOLED panel on the OnePlus 6T. The panel itself is pretty good and offers good contrast levels with no discernible color shift. Put next to the OnePlus 6, the maximum screen brightness level appears to be just slightly lower on the T. I wouldn't call it out as an issue though, since the screen is easily visible outdoors. Over on the right side, not much has changed, and you still have the alert slider as well as the power button. On the opposite side is the volume rocker as well as the dual SIM card slots. Move to the bottom though and you'll notice something very different and unusual for OnePlus. There's no headphone jack. Yes, the company that has always asked you to never settle has gotten rid of the audio jack. You do get a Type-C to 3.5mm adapter, and OnePlus is introducing USB headphones as well, but I don't see this going down all that well with the company's fans. The back of the OnePlus 6T is more or less the same as the model it replaces, other than the missing fingerprint reader. Yeah, you heard it right. The OnePlus 6T has shifted to an in-display fingerprint scanner. I was very skeptical about this move as I have not had a very good experience with in-display fingerprint scanners on Vivo and Oppo phones. On the OnePlus though, the usage experience was a marked improvement. Not quite perfect since there were a few occasions where the phone refused to unlock, but it's fast and mostly reliable. And it also works with banking apps and password managers like LastPass. The phone is still running on the Snapdragon 845 chipset, which continues to be Qualcomm's flagship processor. Under the hood is 6 or 8 GB of RAM and 128 or 256 GB of UFS 2.1 storage depending on the variant. There's really no difference in performance compared to the OnePlus 6. Whatever gains you might observe are more a result of Android 9 and its optimizations than any change in hardware. Oh yes, the phone ships with Android 9 out of the box. Now, Oxygen OS isn't quite stock Android, and there are additions in all the right places to improve the usage experience. Standout features this time around include Smart Boost. The feature essentially loads significant parts of gaming apps into the RAM itself to improve performance. OnePlus claims anywhere from a 5 to 20% performance bump. Launching games triggers a gaming mode on the phone that optimizes the experience, including launching Smart Boost behind the scenes. The camera hardware on the OnePlus 6T is exactly the same as on the OnePlus 6, including the 16MP f1.7 primary camera and 20MP depth sensing module. The front camera is a 16MP unit with an f2.0 lens. Generally, imaging performance isn't all that different from the OnePlus 6. OnePlus claims to have made a few optimizations to portrait mode, and close observation reveals a bit of refinement on that front. We've got a video comparing the cameras on the OnePlus 6 and 6T that you should definitely check out. It's early days, but the OnePlus 6T is a curious device. The transition to an in-screen fingerprint reader is cool, but it doesn't really make a big difference in day-to-day utility. The lack of a headphone jack, on the other hand, is simply disappointing. Sure, the world might be gradually moving on to wireless audio, but not having to give up on features has been a key part of the OnePlus philosophy, something buyers and fans are quite vocal about. Other than that, the smaller notch and bigger battery are nice to have, but they certainly do not justify an upgrade if you've bought a OnePlus device in the last year or so. For everyone else though, the OnePlus 6T continues the winning formula, and if our early impressions are anything to go by, it appears to be a perfectly good flagship that is easy to recommend. And for the price, we'll be attending the launch event tomorrow, so follow us on our social media channels and we'll have that up as soon as we find out as well. As always, thanks for watching this video. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, share it with your friends, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon as well so that you don't miss any of our videos. Have a great day and we'll see you in the next one.